Welcome to Emirates News. I'm Greg Fairley, broadcasting from Dubai. Your news, business and sport are on the way, but first, the headlines. Chinese President Xi Jinping begins a historic visit to the UAE. The Emirates Red Crescent feeds workers in Hadramaut in Yemen. In business, China remains a top market for UAE investors. In the sports, the International Olympic Committee introduces 7 new games at Beijing 2022 Winter Games. You can follow us on Twitter at Dubai One TV, and to comment on any of our stories, use the hashtag Emirates News. Chinese President Xi Jinping is making a historic visit to the UAE today. The official visit is the first to a foreign country since he was re-elected. President Xi's visit features a series of high-level meetings aimed at strengthening ties between the two countries with a view to beginning a new phase of long-term, mutually beneficial cooperation. Dubai Health Authority has signed an agreement with the Knowledge and Human Development Authority to increase student activities, which is part of the Dubai School Health Policy. Under the terms, schools will encourage students to increase physical activities to 2.5 hours a week. What's more, the agreement will also aid in unifying important services such as medical screening, school health clinic setup, as well as students' overall health and well-being. Motorists in Sharjah can now drive their confiscated cars for up to 100 meters within their home neighborhoods. The move allows drivers to attend to an emergency or go to a nearby mosque. However, if the vehicle goes beyond the 100-meter radius, the confiscation period will be doubled. The police in Sharjah, have confiscated 1,535 cars during the last 6 months for various traffic violations. The Emirates Red Crescent has continued providing assistance and food to workers in Hadramaut in Yemen. The move is part of efforts to help local residents who are suffering from tough economic conditions. Following the distribution, the ERC delegation went to the houses of several people who are suffering from chronic diseases and dire humanitarian conditions to explore their needs and provide them with assistance. The beneficiaries thanked the team and praised the UAE government and people for their ongoing efforts. Dubai Police has seized thousands of counterfeit shampoo and toothpaste brands worth 8 million dirhams. Officials say they were tipped off about a shop in Deira selling fake products, and following an investigation, police raided the shop and arrested the suspects. In a separate incident, Dubai Police has also arrested a man who was trying to sell a large amount of gold bars for half the market price. The man, who came on a visit visa, was selling the bars for 150,000 dirhams, while its actual value was 300,000 dirhams. Further investigation revealed the bars were only gold-plated. Both cases have been referred to the public prosecution. The Department of Health in Abu Dhabi has warned residents against using 3 unlicensed male performance drugs. The cautionary message comes after the health authority removed Magic Chocolate, Penatropin capsules and VM Plus capsules. Lab results show that the 3 products contain controlled ingredients that are not mentioned in the product's labeling. Residents are advised to contact the Department of Health for a list of approved medicines. Now for a look at the news in brief. And a 1-year-old toddler is thriving after a liver transplant. Baby Hamid weighed only 4.5 kilograms when the transplant was performed earlier this year, when he was found to have congenital liver disease. Now aged 16 months, Hamid is recovering well. The UAE's telecommunications providers Etisalat and Du have changed their network names to welcome Pres China. The move marks the official visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping to the country. And Dubai Municipality has joined the celebrations of the UAE China Week in honor of the Chinese president's visit. They've lit the Dubai frame up in red lights to represent the flag of the People's Republic of China. Well, it's time now for a break. The business news is on the way next, and China remains a top market for UAE investors. Stay with us. You're watching Emirates News. Welcome back to Emirates News. Our top story tonight: Chinese President Xi Jinping is making a historic visit to the UAE today. President Xi's visit features a series of high-level meetings aimed at strengthening ties between the UAE and China. Time now for the business news. The UAE International Investor Council Secretary General says that Chinese President Xi Jinping's state visit to the UAE highlights the strategic partnership between the two countries based on mutual trust, transparency and innovative capabilities to maximize economic growth. Jamal Saif Al Jawan pointed out that there is a forecast to be a record increase in trade growth between the two countries, with expected trade reaching 257 billion dirhams by the year 2020. The Secretary General noted that there are currently hundreds of UAE companies undergoing operations in China across various sectors. Dubai has been highlighted as an increasingly attractive trade and investment destination for Chinese investors looking for an opportunity in the city's rapidly evolving tech industry. The value of trade between the UAE and China currently stands at around 195.8 billion dirhams last year. That's according to the Ministry of Economy. The UAE's IT sector is currently worth around 29 billion dirhams. With deepening bilateral ties with China, the domestic IT market is forecast to grow at an average of 5% a year between now and the year 2022. DP World is setting up a traders market to boost China's Belt and Road Initiative. This follows an agreement signed with the Zhejiang China Commodities City Group. The agreement will help China-based manufacturers trade across the Middle East and Indian subcontinent, widening market reach for goods and services as a platform to trade at competitive prices. Time now to have a look at the markets, today's most active stocks and the global currencies rounding off this UAE Business Week. Sports now and the International Olympics Committee have introduced 7 new games at the Beijing 2022 Winter Games. The next Winter Olympics will now include women's monobob, big air freestyle, skiing for men and women, mixed team events in short track speed skating, ski jumping, ski aerials and snowboard cross. Officials say that the new program sends a strong message about controlling the size of the Olympic Winter Games, with 41 fewer athletes in Beijing.
We have 7 new events in the Olympic Winter Games, but in every one of those events, we're using existing venues and existing fields of play. So there's no new venues or fields of play needed. All of those events bring something new to the Olympic Games. They bring a new youth focus. They bring mixed events combining both men and women in the same teams in a number of cases. We've increased gender equality from 41% to over 45%, which is really important, and got that overall number of athletes down below the specification in the Olympic Charter for the first time. So for us, it's a really great package which reaches out to young audiences, which continues the innovation, but really reflects our goal of reducing the size of the Olympic Winter Games overall.
Football next, and former Chelsea striker Gianfranco Zola has returned to the club as assistant to new manager Maurizio Sarri. Zola spent 7 years playing at Stamford Bridge, scoring 80 goals and helping the club win 2 FA Cups in the UEFA Super Cup. Italian Sarri was signed up last week to replace Antonio Conte after Chelsea failed to qualify for next season's Champions League. Zola's coaching career has seen him manage West Ham United, Watford and Italian side Cagliari. And in boxing, Britain's Anthony Joshua plans to cement his legacy in the heavyweight, starting with his fight against Alexander Povetkin. IBF, WBA and WBO champion Joshua is ready to take on the Russian as he returns to Wembley for the first time since his victory over Vladimir Klitschko in April last year. The 28-year-old burst into the public eye with his gold medal in the super heavyweight division of the London 2012 Olympics. Joshua says he intends to compete in the heavyweight division until he is aged 40.
This is a new chapter. I think I've got 10 years left in boxing and I want to really cement my legacy.
You really believe that, 10 years?
Yeah, because I think now science, information, and people have done it. Foreman, Bernard Hopkins, and my friend now, Klitschko, went on till 40. Mayweather done it, so I believe I can as well.
And finally, everyone's got their own way of dealing with the summer heat wave, but one company caters to a special group of swimmers. Pet sitting and dog walking service, Rover, kicked off its first ever dog swimming gala in London. Owners signed up their canines for free 30-minute swim sessions and a 10-metre race featuring inflatables and dog polo. The dog that completes a length of the pool in the fastest time will be crowned the winner and receive a month worth of free dog walks. And with that, we end tonight's bulletin. Have a great evening and weekend, everyone. We'll be back again on Sunday, but for now, from all of us on the team, thanks for watching.